Hello, my name is Sega. Welcome to our show. Before we start our program, I would love to share with you a short bio about my colleague, Dr. Bini Zorai. Dr. Bini has a Bachelor of Science in Earth Science, a Master of Science in Forensic Chemistry, and a PhD in Hydrogeology. He is a water scientist. Dr. Bini works at an engineering company in the greater Los Angeles area. Dr. Bini served as a co-leader of the Eritrean community in Los Angeles. He and his colleagues are serving the Eritrean community by organizing COVID-19 related activity, including vaccination. He has been volunteering at the Eritrean Medhani Alam Orthodox Tewahedo Church in Los Angeles. He also organized educational seminar for the Eritrean community in LA and surrounding. Dr. Bini currently lives in California with his wonderful wife and the two kids, Kasanet and Raphael. Thank you, Dr. Bini.
Thank you, Sega, for the nice introduction. Hello, Eritrean Americans in Los Angeles and surrounding counties, and all over the US and beyond. May 24 is upon us. Our treasured country, Eritrea, turns 30. Happy birthday, our beautiful Eritrea. Happy Independence Day to our compatriots all over the world. Yohana Ertrana, Timirte Tsin'at Erwololo. Yohana Hizbi Ertra, እንኳዕና መበል 30 ዓመት ልደት ኤርትራ በሰላም አብጽሐና. We are broadcasting our new talk show from Los Angeles, California. We are really excited to introduce our piece to the public. It's a new show geared towards our youngsters and towards galvanizing the diaspora community. We call our talk show the Appetizer because we are just starting the conversation regarding the need to focus on our young generation, our boys and our girls, and adults who are doing tremendous and exemplary work. We may not have a complete picture or a fully developed roadmap yet, and that's why we call it Appetizer, so that others can build on it and take it to the next level. Appetizer, by definition, is a small dish of food or a drink taken before a meal or the main course of a meal to stimulate one's appetite. In a similar fashion, our hope and our mission are to find ways to stimulate our society's enormous potential to impact positively the livelihood of our diaspora community and, by extension, our motherland, Eritrea, and contribute and serve our great nation, the United States of America. Of course, our seasoned compatriots can take it from there and make it a full meal. For this talk show host, that would be a dream come true. Yes, we want to start a conversation about our community in diaspora, specifically the young generation. We want to start this show and hopefully our new generation will take it over and advance it to the next stage. We want our youngsters and others to be the driving force for the betterment of the Eritrean Americans. We want them to be the engine that propel us to the next level. We want to share their success in their respective professions. We want them to be the pioneers in converting our dreams into reality. We want them to be the bridge and ready to take the torch that connects Eritrea and the US. In this show, we will strive to bring Eritreans from all walks of life to share their rich experience and at the same time learn from each other. We are sure that there are many diaspora Eritreans who attempt to shed light on this subject, the subject we are raising in this show. But here in LA and surrounding counties, we felt we need to bring our young generation to the forefront to recognize their endeavors. That is their work, their success, and lesson learned. We do like to see at the grassroots level a synchronized roadmap to link our home country, Eritrea, with our adopted nation, the United States of America. Here, we're not trying to reinvent a new concept. We are witnessing other societies work hard to bring together their respective countries with their adopted nations. What we are trying to visualize is an approach that involve the diaspora in charting out a better future for the Eritrean communities in a holistic way. In short, we'll strive and do our best to accomplish this new program in this new show, the following. Number one, work hard to energize and involve our young generation to share their experience publicly and get them involved in a manner that reflects their vision and their aspiration. Number two, at a grassroots level, through a sustained effort, work hard to link, in the long run, the two nations, Eritrea and the United States of America. Number three, interview as many U.S. officials as possible to engage them, to get what they know about us, to introduce them to our community, to learn from their experience, and to cultivate in a sustained manner a mutual benefit for both sides. This will go hand in hand with our grand vision, that is, cultivate at a grassroots level a long-term mutual understanding and benefit between Eritrea and the United States of America. The end goal is to promote people, knowledge, historic places, the power of teamwork, peace, productivity, business, prosperity, networking, and many more about Eritrea and the United States of America. Now, my colleague, Sega, will provide some highlights on the efforts made so far and the wisdom of interviewing U.S. officials and prominent figures. But before that, let me read a short biography about Sega. Sega has a Master of Science degree in pharmacy from Romania and has worked at Charles Drew University in the capacity of Associate Program Director for the African American study of kidney disease and hypertension. Sega received many awards and special commendations that have meant a lot to her and also to the Eritrean community in Los Angeles. But there are two of which she is most proud of. The first, special commendation from Mayor Tom Bradley of Los Angeles for outstanding civic and scientific professional activities in July 1988. And the second, a certificate of recognition from Los Angeles Mayor Eric Garcetti for outstanding commitment and dedication to the Los Angeles Youth Ambassador cohort. She is one of the founders of the Medhanialem Eritrean Orthodox Tewahedo Church here in Los Angeles. She's also serving her community in many ways, including organizing vaccination events for our compatriots. Sega is the mother of twins, Masarat and Marhawit Mahzun. Thank you, Sega, for your dedication. Thank you, Sega, for involving so much to help the Eritrean community in Los Angeles.
Perhaps you can see, therefore, why am I excited to start this project along with my colleagues that will empower our young generation, connecting Eritrea and the USA at the grassroots level and engage US officials in the two-way conversation. We have been busy trying to reach some of US officials and other permanent figures to interview for our show. We successfully interviewed two such officials, the Honorable Mayor of Los Angeles, Eric Garcetti, and Councilmember Marquis Harris Dawson, as well as one icon and legendary figure in our beloved African American community, the Reverend Dr. Cecil Chip Murray of the African Methodist Episcopal Church, AME. For today, we are proud to bring to you a short interview we conduct with Mayor Eric Garcetti. Although he is in the middle of managing the pandemic and juggling urgent mayoral duty, we are grateful to Mayor Garcetti for granting us this interview. In the name of the Eritrean community in Los Angeles and surrounding area, Eritrean in the diaspora and back home in Africa, I would like to thank the mayor. We Eritreans can benefit from interviewing U.S. officials. It will help us in the long run to create strong working relationships that benefit our communities in the diaspora and as well as our beloved country, Eritrea. We need to master the art of soft diplomacy. If we can to sustain at a grassroots level health communication and working relationship with U.S. officials and important figures, with that in mind and before we take you to the interview, I would like to provide a short bio of Mayor Garcetti. He is the fourth generation Angelino and the 42nd mayor of Los Angeles, born and raised in San Fernandino Valley, the son of public servant and the grandson and great-grandson of immigrant from Mexico and Eastern Europe. Mayor Garcetti's life has been shaped by deep commitment, equality for all people. The mayor received his bachelor's and master's degree from Columbia University and studies as a Rhodes Scholar at Oxford University, and later at the London School of Economics. He also a jazz pianist and photographer. Prior to election to the Los Angeles City Council, Garcetti was visiting instructor of international affairs at the University of Southern California and assistant professor at diplomacy and world affairs at Occidental College. His academic work focused on ethnic conflict and nationalism in Southeast Asia and Northeast Africa. During this time, he published articles and chapters, books as Post-Conflict Society and Eritrean Nationalism and Nonviolent Action. The mayor's government service began in the LA City Council, where he spent 4 times as a city council president, before being elected mayor in 2013 and winning re-election in 2017 by the widest margin in the history of Los Angeles. He is the city's first election Jewish mayor and his second consecutive Mexican-American mayor. He was elected as the youngest mayor in over 100 years, having been only 42 years old at the time of his inauguration. Before his time at the City Hall, Mayor Garcetti served his country as an intelligence officer in the United States Navy Reserve. He and his wife, First Lady Amy Wickland, are the parents of daughter Maya and have been foster parents for many, many years. As a side note, Mayor Garcetti approved and recognized May 24 to be Eritrean American Day in the city of Los Angeles and encouraged Angelinos to appreciate the contribution of the Eritrean American community. With that introduction, now let me go strong to be interview with the mayor. Thank you, Mr. Mayor, for joining us today. You have a lot of urgent tasks on your plate, including global pandemic. And as our mayor, you have been on the top of all of this. How have you managed this challenging, and how is going now?
First of all, Sega, thank you for everything that you do and everything that you are. You're a real angel in the city of angels. And just as you demonstrated down at Kedron, your work saves lives. The work of all three of you makes a difference. And I try to approach my work every single day the same way. Take the work seriously, don't take yourself too seriously, and get the job done. And what I learned this year is that leadership is not about what you say. It's what you're capable of building and doing. I kind of like saying leadership is logistics. It's setting up testing, vaccines, educating people, delivering material assistance to people without jobs or without homes. And so for me right now, the priority for Los Angeles and for this country has to be not only getting out of this pandemic, but learning from it and building something much better after it, not just to return to business as usual, to be more ready for our health challenges, whether that's something like a pandemic or our climate crisis, being more generous with each other and learning that at the neighbor to neighbor level, as we've shown this year, to help people in need, and as we need to do across oceans and overseas. And then third, making sure that we address inequality, the structural racism that's existed here in this country for so long, the way women start behind men when they're looking to get economic opportunities. And this pandemic showed so many women who suffered from this when they had to take care of things like childcare. And to finally look at what we can do to make a city that really is a shining example. And I'm confident Los Angeles will not only emerge from this, but roar back. I say never bet against LA. We've got our challenges, but we absolutely have all the solutions, and that's each other.
Thank you, Mayor. Here is my second question. We Eritreans in Los Angeles and through the world admire you, respect you for your leadership and for the support you have provided to Eritreans here and back home in Eritrea. Since you have traveled to Eritrea once in the 80s when you were young, and again as adult after Eritrean independence, we consider you one of our own. What message do you have for the Eritrean American community in Los Angeles?
Eritrea has been a gift in my life, and Eritreans have been dear friends, brothers and sisters since I was a teenager. I first went to then northern Ethiopia to provide medical relief work when I was just 16 years old, and then returned there just after independence. And Eritrea left an imprint on my heart. The struggle of the people during independence, the war for independence, the work afterwards, and the diaspora as well, who continues to come back to this beautiful slice of the world where we see so many cultures. We see Christian and Muslim, we see Tigrinian and Tigray and Afar and Kunama and all of the different ethnic and linguistic groups. And to me, it's a real example that it doesn't matter our differences, because people probably in America think, oh, Eritreans are just one people, they look one way, they speak one language, they worship God in one direction. But in many ways, it's the same diversity we have here in America. And Eritreans showed that sometimes there's not going to be anybody there to help you, that you have to do it yourself. But if you show that strength to yourself, to your people, if you find your allies and your compatriots right next to you, your neighbors who might be a little bit different from you, but share the same home, then you can accomplish anything. And I've always thought that Eritrea is this undiscovered jewel that most people in America don't know about. And yet Eritrean Americans are helping this country work, making this country run, whether it's the waterways, Dr. Bini, or whether it's the great work at the Port of Los Angeles, the busiest container terminals in the hemisphere that Robel is working on. We know that it is only when we understand where we come from and then we apply that diversity in the world that we can be strong. So I just want to say thank you to all my Eritrean brothers and sisters throughout America, throughout the diaspora, and back in Eritrea for showing me the lessons of life that I've taken with me as a leader now of the second biggest city in America and the third biggest economy of any city in the world, that we can come together, that we can find a better future and never, ever, ever give up hope.
Mayor Garcetti, I know that you are pressed for time. We will end with this following final question. Soon you will be leaving office. What advice would you share with your successor in terms of sustain your legacy of community partnership in the city as diverse as Los Angeles?
I think we often think about a legacy as being about one person. Who was the president? Who is the governor? Who is the mayor? When in reality, it really is all of our legacy. And we take the baton from, one person before us, and we hand the baton to the next person after us. And during that time, we're surrounded by people who aren't going anywhere. So I would say to the people of Los Angeles, what is your legacy? What will our legacy be? For me, it has been to try to return the city back to the basics, to come out of the last recession and to rebuild a better economy. I've made huge investments and convinced the people of Los Angeles to invest in the next 50 years, whether it's the Olympics coming in 2028, whether it's 15 new rapid transit lines that we're going to extend or build from scratch, or whether it's a new airport connecting the airport with infrastructure, free college, raising our minimum wage, getting off of coal and things like oil and natural gas so that we can have a planet once again that we can enjoy. These are the things that my work will never finish, but that I've helped accelerate and that somebody who comes after me will pick up. But I'm not worried about whether she or he will do that work. I know that the people of Los Angeles look at that as our work. So especially ending homelessness and figuring out a way to get our national government and our state government to recognize local government can never solve a housing crisis on its own. Racial injustice, something we need to reimagine and look at putting less on the shoulders of our police officers so that we can have mental health care, suicide prevention, again, outreach to folks who are unhoused without that having to be an officer. Looking at the ways that we can rethink our planet and our connection to it. The water engineering, Dr. Bini will appreciate this, to recycle all the water that we have here so that we can live for many more generations. These legacies, I'm confident, aren't about Eric Garcetti. They're about the city of Los Angeles. So I've told people, when I'm no longer your mayor, I'll be something worse. I'll be a constituent and a resident. So I'm not going anywhere. When people say, oh, you won't care, you won't be the mayor. I'm like, yes, I will. I'm going to be a father, one day, hopefully a grandfather, and I'm going to be a lifelong Angelino. So I love this place as much as anybody. I care about its problems as much as anybody, and I will never stop contributing, even long after I'm mayor, to making this truly the City of Angels.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, for taking this time to be with us. I wish we had more time to discuss in detail your experience in Eritrea and with Eritrean people. Mr. Mayor, we hope you will give us another chance to talk with you before you leave office at the end of 2021. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Now, take it from here.
We Eritreans much appreciate the opportunity given to us, and we are happy to hear the mayor talking about Eritrea. We, by we I mean Sega, Robel, and I, conducted the interview with the mayor through Zoom. Our colleague Sega was instrumental in connecting us with the mayor's office and the mayor himself. We are blessed to have Sega to serve as the bridge between the mayor's office and the Eritrean American community in Los Angeles since the 80s when Tom Bradley was the mayor of LA. Thank you, Sega. By the way, we are planning to cover this program in Tigrinya under the title Ta'amut as well. Stay tuned for that. Also, a new e-magazine in English will be released soon, and stay tuned for that as well. The title of the e-magazine is Imagination. Take the word imagination and replace the letter I with the letter uppercase E, and it will read Imagination. E stands for Eritrea. More on this on our next episode. Again, happy birthday, Eritrea. Happy Independence Day to the Eritrean people and the friends of Eritreans all over the world. The enormous material and time we paid, the sweat we poured, the ups and downs we went through, and the ultimate sacrifice her sons and daughters paid for was to have a country and a place we call home, a country of our own. May your birthday usher an eternal peace, tranquility, prosperity, and harmony, our beautiful motherland. You are always in our heart, in our mind, regardless where we are. As we start the long journey of an attempt at a grassroots level to bring Eritrea and US close, we are reminded that the month of May is also US Memorial Day, in remembrance for those who have died in military service for the United States. We salute them for their sacrifices.
Yes.
Next comes June 20th, in which we remember and celebrate our Eritrean heroes and heroines. Mother's Day is a sacred day for Eritreans. It is deeply embedded in our psyche. This day reminds us the exceptional and extraordinary sacrifice of Eritreans and the heavy price every Eritrean family paid for independence. Our martyrs, may your soul rest in peace, and rest assured that we will keep Eritrea intact for eternity. Then comes the 4th of July, American Independence Day. We commemorate the Declaration of Independence of the United States, our adopted nation, our first generation children's country. In a nutshell, from May through July, we celebrate both nations, Eritrea and the United States of America. With that, we conclude our first episode. We'll come back with other topics and interviews soon. Thank you for listening, and thank you for watching. Leave your constructive comments below, and email us at ImagEnatioN7691@gmail.com. ImagEnatioN7691@gmail.com, and let us know how to improve the content of the program to benefit our compatriots, to benefit our listeners. Thank you, Sega, my co-host here. We had a great time, didn't we?
Yes, we did. Yes, we did. I enjoyed every bit. In thinking this, what we're doing is to pass on to our daughters and sons. I'm excited. This is something until we give the baton to our kids, Dr. Bini, your kids and my kids and all Eritrean kids. We need to work hard, and I'm here to work hard.
Indeed. Let's do it.
Thank you.
And this is the first and the beginning.
Thank you.
Thank you all there for listening, for joining us today. God bless you. God bless Eritrea. And God bless the United States of America. Thank you.
سمايا زعر قلي حملكم تحملي زرحكم زغركم سالكم كيو وغني فناني نياتي سمايا زعر قلي زحملكم تحملي أبزي زبطحكم تساقير بحري سلاخم ديكونان أبتحت فتاري باتك بحر عقلي باتك تنبخ سقمي حنباتي زخونكو أبتس تسفح طلعي صالحهم ديكونن صالحهم وكاني متمم كيلي متمم كي غبر كلكم بتبحر عقلي بتتنبو صدمي حنباسي زخونكو أب تسفح طلعي صالحهم ديكونن صالحهم وكاني متمم كيلي متمم كي غبر كلكم أنا نسخم زللاي أنا نسخم زللا معر ولا لا أنا نسخم زللاي أنا نسخم زللاي معر ولا لا صلح مندي وجناي صلح هذا سنتنا أو حدا مسمار لنا الزور عينا تبيخو شقنا سنتنا دمي قوة خلي عود تخلى لعو أنت نزمو ماني رخو فتأروا عنو اسك زهبو رب زهبو حاسب كلنا نرتاكهم كلنا برتعنا صاطيبة احنا تسلالي وقدام الزور عينا تبيخو شقنا سنتنا دمي قوة خلي عود تورا ريعو أنت نزمو ماني رخو فتأروا عنو اسك زهبو رب زهبو أبيت صلحوا مندي وجاي صلح هذا الأسنيتنا أب حدا مسمار لنا الزور عينا تبيخو شقنا سنتنا دمي قوة خلي عود تورا ريعو أنت نزمو ماني رخبو فتأروا عنو اسك زهبو رب زهبو لالأوي حاسب كلنا نرتاح دخم كلنا برتعنا صاطي برتحنا تسلالي وقتا الزور عينا تبيخو شقنا سنتنا دمي قوة خلي عود تورا ريعو أنت نزمو ماني رخبو فتعري بعلو اسك زهبو رب زهبو أبيت